Hi, my name's Summer D. Clemenson. You've probably seen some of my videos before, but if you haven't, I just want to introduce myself. I am the founder of Living Ministries. I do a lot of other things, but today I want to talk to you about Living Ministries. In 2010, I was really unhappy with what I learned about how we were not acknowledging the homeless crisis in Kelso Longview, Washington. And I'm still not happy about it. But I'm unhappy in different ways too, because I'm also not happy with how we're not supporting local businesses, because our local police department isn't allowed to do much about when homeless people are breaking the law. So I'm also for our police department to be able to arrest people who are breaking the law. I think that Washington State needs to do better to support local businesses because they're our backbone. But that's not really what I want to talk about today. Since 2010, Living Ministries has morphed a lot, but in 2014 I got really sick and I wasn't able to do what I did before, and my board went their own ways as humans do, and we stopped functioning. And I guess I should talk to you about what Living Ministries does, because we haven't done anything in a long time. But while we were functioning, I had created a free community online database, and it consisted of organizations that help people in Cowlitz County. Now, if you're located in if you are located in Washington or Oregon, you could be on the database. It's free. Nobody pays me. I handle it all. My family pays for all of the marketing costs. Nobody ever takes a paycheck at Living Ministries. I don't go for government grants because I don't want to have to follow the rules that government says. Any money that's ever come into our organization goes back into Cowlitz County. When we had our business license, I haven't been updating it because I was sick. We're going to make it up again. We're going to be building, and I am building. Everything was put back into the community. You can read our bylaws. It states completely everything that we believe and did. We haven't updated them since 2015, but I read them recently to make sure. We are a Christian organization. However, my viewpoints on Christianity are different than most people. I've been studying the Bible since I was 6 years old, and I read the Bible regularly, and I recognize it as a book that has been profoundly inspired by people who were inspired by the life of Jesus, but it's also been edited by humans many times, and so I read it that way. I have a very spiritual belief system, but I don't go to church, and I don't believe in organized religion. I also believe that everybody has a right to believe what they want, and I double-checked our bylaws this week. You don't have to be a Christian to be part of Living Ministries. And yes, if you go to our social media sites, you'll see that out of my Bible studies, I do share verses that go along with loving your neighbor every day. But if we had a person that was part of our committee that was of a different religion, and they wanted to share verses from their studies of whatever religion they are from that go along with loving your neighbor, I would completely welcome sharing scripture or whatever it is that they call, because I'm sorry, I'm ignorant about that. But I'm also open to loving your neighbor, and I don't believe that Christianity is the only way to know how to love your neighbor. And I want people to see my face, to know that I believe that with all my heart. I'm not probably going to take up studying other beliefs at this point in my life. I will probably read other books at some point in my life, but it's not going to be something that I study faithfully because it's not, it's just not what I know to do. And so, but I don't hold anything against anybody, and I know that at the end of the day, we just need to love each other, and we need to be trading our fears for love. And that is my philosophy in life. Um, when when I began this, I created that community resource database. One thing that I think is amazing is that people, print things out and they share them, but once you print it, you can't fix it. And so the online database is nice because if you're on there and it's incorrect, you can email me and I'll fix it. So if you are on our database, which you might very well be because there's almost 200 organizations on that database, and if you are on there, please go and search out our site. It's at livingministries.org, and I am more than willing to correct anything that I have sought out and added to the site. I got off people's websites, but websites change because web design is my first love, and I don't believe that a website is ever done. You have to edit it all the time, and so that is what I do. Anyway, so what the other part of what Living Ministries does is marketing. That's because that's where my heart is, and we have helped other organizations with their marketing. We do fundraising. At one point, we did 5 different fundraisers a year. I think that when we come back, I'll probably get rid of most of them. There's 2 that I definitely want to keep, and I think our biggest one they did, I kind of want to morph it into something different. That's completely different, actually, than what we've ever done before, because there's nothing that acknowledges Juneteenth in our area really big, and I think that would be really cool. Not just because I don't think that the United States has ever really acknowledged Juneteenth well enough, and of course, my wife and our president is Black, and also her great-grandmother was actually a freed slave, so it means something to me. But it's also my half birthday, so almost. And so I just, think that's a cool idea. And I just like to be different, and I want to see change. I want to be the change. That was just, I think that's important. I've always thought that we have to start with what we see in the mirror, and that's kind of another thing that I live by. And anyway, I'm starting to babble, but I want you to see my heart, and I want you to know that while I was going through the site and looking at the pictures on the site, because I had to do an overhaul this week because I hadn't really touched it in a long, long time, and I remember that although our fundraisers were never huge, there were magical moments, and I loved the people that showed up, and I loved watching the magical miracle moments where people were touched. And I love Cowlitz County, and I love the people here. I love the diversity, and I'd love to see more of it. And I want you to see in my face that I'm not lying, and that I don't have a problem with telling people who don't agree with me that I don't care that you don't agree with me. and but I love you anyway. So have a blessed day. I love you.